Hello, it's Aubrey Brush with Easy School Marketing, and I'm talking to you today about 5 mistakes that are killing your enrollment and retention efforts. This is going to be a good one, folks, so stick around. Mistake number 1. This is when we think we can do it all, okay? And that we have to do it all. Like all this retention effort needs to be done by us, or it needs to, it just all needs to happen through us. And how I see this live out, some of you might be thinking, oh, that's not me. I want others to help me. But the way I see this lived out in independent schools is we typically we're the only ones that could do this task. We are the only ones that could do this task. And we are the only ones that can do it well. So we keep it with us because we don't want to take the time to train someone else to do it. Or we're like, oh yeah, that's going to take too much time to train someone. Or that person can't do it as well as me. And that is just slowing you down. It's slowing your efforts down. It's probably burning you out. So that brings me to number 2, and that means if it is not relationship building, it can be outsourced. Like if it is not relationship building, which a lot of your jobs now should absolutely be relationship building. It should be talking to parents. It should be building community. It should be checking with teachers and administration. It should be cementing those relationships. It should not be doing the daily grind task. It should not be posting to social media. It should not be all of these things that can be outsourced one way or another. And so that's number 2, is that you're making the mistake of, number 1, you're thinking that you have to do it and you do it the best. And so therefore, if it can't be done the best or by you, then it's not going to be done. And there's only so much of you to go around, so you know what's going to happen. Number 2, like we just discussed, is you're not willing to outsource the task. Either you think, oh, it's going to cost too much money for us to do that, or something along those lines. But here's the deal. Only you can do the relationship building tasks. And so everything outside of the relationship building task needs to be outsourced. It needs to be outsourced to an agency, to a freelancer, to someone. Maybe it's outsourced to someone in your own community who is currently not able to work as much given the way COVID has changed our schools. Okay, it's thinking strategically and then outsourcing those areas. I mean, we've seen a lot of traffic from heads of school and admin teams who are just ready to give up those tasks, those delegation tasks of like social media management, graphic design, editing newsletters and communications, and they bring them to us so they don't have to think about it anymore. And that is key. So no matter what you're doing, you can find a way to outsource somewhere. But keep the relationship building efforts in-house. That is going to help so much, because when your time is freed up to build those relationships, you're strengthening that bond with the school. That is key. And that is retention, folks. That's retention. Then number 3, oh, this is a good one. Waiting until you decide you're waiting to see what next year brings before you're actually talking about what your school will do. Now, many of you are like, well, we don't know what's going to happen with COVID, and we don't know what the school systems are going to do. Here's the deal. We need to have multiple scenarios, and we need to be able to talk about those scenarios, not only with prospective families, but with our current families. And we need to plan for A, B, and C and say, hey, we've gone through it this year so far, and we feel confident that we're able to handle what is to come. And here are some different scenarios, and here is how your child would benefit from these. And here's what we're planning to deliver. We're committed to our mission, committed to delivering value, all those things. But you need to be confident in conveying those scenarios. You can't just wait for parents. You can't just wait until everything is cemented in place to communicate your plans with parents, because that's not what's going to happen this year. If I could predict spring, I would say it's going to be a lot of wait and see what's the public school system going to do, or wait and see what does our county, metrics look like. Okay, these are things that you have no control over. So you need to write the messaging. You need to create your messaging around the different scenarios that are going to happen, and you need to start talking about them now with parents and prospective families as well. Don't wait on that, folks. It's not going to serve you for retention and enrollment for sure. Next is, this is a good one. not setting aside time. This is another big mistake. This is number 4. Not setting aside non-negotiable time on your head of school's calendar, your admin team's calendar, everyone's calendar for retention and enrollment efforts. Now more than any other year. Like last year, maybe you were like, no, not the end of last year, but 2018-19 school year, maybe you didn't need to set aside time. This is a different beast, folks. We're dealing with many unknowns. We have to set it on the calendar, and we have to make sure people are not just skipping over that time that they have on their calendar to work on those efforts. You have to say, this is not a negotiable thing. Like, you have to honor this calendar item, and you have to get these tasks done. I don't care if you're holding the head of school accountable or you are the head of school, you need to hold yourself accountable. Okay. Everyone needs to have it on their calendar, and everyone needs to execute the relationship building tasks during that time. It's the only way that you are going to be able to keep moving your enrollment and retention efforts forward. Otherwise, it will fall through the cracks because, look, we all know there are a million fires to put out right now. Absolutely a million. With everything happening with COVID, with the changing metrics, with making sure we're talking to teachers who are probably on the verge of burnout, but this cannot fall off our plate. We cannot just have it on the calendar and then say, oh yeah, I have to work on something else during that time. It is not going to work. So I want you to promise yourself, and I want your admin team to promise each other that they will hold these meetings. They will hold these meetings with themselves to work on those efforts. It will help you so much. Number 5, let's see. Oh, yes, this is huge. Not conveying expectations for retention and enrollment to your teachers and supporting them through the process. So what I see is a lot of retention effort conversations happen at the upper levels. And then maybe during faculty and service, you talk about relationship building or retention with your teachers and enrollment and stuff like that. And yeah, maybe you talk about it in a newsletter or something. But really, someone needs to be bringing it up at every staff meeting that here are our expectations for retention and enrollment. Here's what we need you to do every week. Here's what's coming up this week for that. What can I do to support your efforts? And then it's really listening to them and understanding what you can do to support their efforts and giving them the space to execute some of these things. A lot of times, now more than ever, we actually need to be holding space for our teachers and really giving them, offloading something so that they can work on these relationship building efforts, because they're going to serve our retention. They're going to help with prospective families. It's huge. And if we don't give them the time and we don't write out our clear expectations of what we are expecting them to do overall and then weekly, we're not going to be where we want to be at the end of the year. And so what we found is that really being clear on the expectations and then making sure you're bringing them up all the time and asking the question individually and in groups, how can I support your efforts? Like, what's holding you back? What questions, what things do you need from me in order to move forward? I find that opens a lot of doors, and they are able to then articulate what they need in order to do what we're asking them to do. I hope this was helpful. I'd love to see you at one of our small school Power Hour meetups coming up in October, November, and December. They're free, and it's a place for small school leaders like yourself to connect and share strategies and talk about what's happening today in the world of small schools, which is always an adventure, right? All right, I look forward to chatting with you soon. Take care. Bye.